everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So as you can see, yes, I am on a table full of sublimation supplies, but for good reason, because today we're going to be talking about everything that you need to start a successful sublimation business without all the fluff. So I'm going to explain what you need versus what you might not need depending on what products you want to make and sell. So the thing about me is I've done a little bit of everything in sublimation. I've tried so many different products. I've done kind of it all. I've been into sublimation since I guess over a year now, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And the cool thing about sublimation is that you can make so many different products. I mean, just to name a few, you can make shirts, mugs, tumblers, koozies, mouse pads, tote bags, signs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I can't even think of everything because there's so many different products you can make. So you might be a little bit, worried about getting into sublimation because you might think it's oversaturated, but I will tell you this. It is not oversaturated because nobody's you, but along with that, there's so many different products that you can create that you can really tailor anything to your business and what you want to make and sell. So let me go ahead and get off this table and we'll get a little bit more into the details and the nitty-gritty of the products that you'll need. Okay, so as you can see, there is a lot sitting here. So what I'm gonna do is kind of break things into sections. And the first thing that we're gonna talk about is printers. So the first thing that you will obviously need is a sublimation printer. As you can see here, I have two printers. I have the Epson EcoTank. It is the 15,000 and it is not a sublimation printer. It is a printer that I converted into sublimation by putting sublimation ink into those cartridges and putting sublimation paper in the back, and it prints a sublimation print for you. And this one is the SG500. It is a Sawgrass, and yes, a lot of you might not have seen this. It is a new printer, and I'm very excited to be able to compare the two of these printers for you guys. So stay tuned for a video coming very, very soon where I'm gonna kind of go into the nitty gritty of both of these, because I know this one is especially hard to find right now. It's a little bit of a unicorn. I'm very excited to do that video for y'all. So as you can see, obviously you have to do some research when it comes to printers. What type of products are you wanting to make? How large are those products going to be? So along with product size, you need to just look into the specs, look into the softwares, just do all of that research to see what works for you and the type of products that you're wanting to create. Next is ink for your printer. So let's go ahead and start with the Epson 15,000. So if you have an EcoTank, I highly recommend the Cosmos ink. So I started using Cosmos ink over a year ago, and I've been using it in all of my products, and I highly recommend them for the Epson EcoTanks. The ink is just so vibrant. It gives me flawless results every time, and I never have had any issues with it, and it lasts a very long time. So highly recommend that. And then for the Sawgrass, I use the standard ink that comes with it, the Sawgrass Sublijet UHD ink. So more on that soon because it is new to me, but stay tuned for the results of that coming soon. So something important to note when it comes to ink, always use sublimation ink. If you go and research online and just get ink, any kind of ink, and try and print it out on sublimation paper and heat press it on, it's not going to produce a sublimation product. You need something created for sublimation in order to work and to produce the results that you need. Okay, number 3 is paper. So sublimation paper. And this is another one of those things that I've tried a lot of different brands, and these are the 3 that I highly recommend, and I interchange all of them. So first up is A-Sub. I use A-Sub. That was the first that I ever tried, and I really like it. It gives me great results. The paper is thick, but not thick enough to where it jams your printer or anything like that. This is the 13 by 19 size. And I also use the StarCraft. This is the 11 by 17 size. And this paper is great. It has great ink release. Highly recommend it as well. And this is the TexPrint R. It is also a great sublimation paper that is highly recommended. It works great as well. This is the 8.5 by 11 size. All 3 of these papers are great. So you can't go wrong with any 3 of these. So that is something that you'll need. You just need to do your research and make sure you're also getting sublimation paper to work with your sublimation ink. So those are the first 3 things that you'll need. The next up is butcher paper. So I get this question a lot. Can I not use butcher paper? Can I go get it at the store? Where can I get it? What kind do I need? Does this work? Does this not work? So I'll tell you what's been working for me the past year. So these are from 2 different companies. Both work excellent. This one is from Sam's Club. It's a giant roll that you can get. It is just unwaxed butcher paper. If you do not have a Sam's Club near you, I recommend the butcher paper or the parchment paper from Heat Press Nation. Works great. They all work the same. Butcher paper is kind of butcher paper, but you have to make sure that it is unwaxed. So just make sure that whenever you're looking, you look for that word unwaxed or something that doesn't have a coating on it, because if you have the coating on it, It's probably not going to do well when it touches your heat press, could start a fire, all those things. So just make sure you're looking for unwaxed and a lighter color, I'd say, and you'd probably be good to go. But yes, butcher paper is extremely important. You might be wondering, why do I need butcher paper? And you need it because when you sublimate a product and you put it in your heat press, the ink is going to kind of go wherever it touches. So it's kind of like a gas. So if you don't have this butcher paper covering the top of your product and underneath your product, that ink is going to get all over your heat press and ruin your heat press. So you want to make sure that that does not happen. So you need something to protect your investment. So butcher paper is a must. 100% you'll need that no matter what. So when it comes to heat tape, you will use this all the time in your sublimation business. Whether you make shirts and you want to keep them straight so it doesn't shift, you don't necessarily have to have them for shirts, but it's one of those things that better be safe than sorry so you don't mess your whole shirt up. If you're making cups and tumblers and different hard substrates, you will definitely need tape to be able to hold the sublimation paper down onto your product. And you can't just use any tape. You cannot use Scotch tape. You cannot use any of those other tapes because it will melt and it's not really made for heat like these are. These are specifically made for heat and they withstand all the temperatures that it will see. And like I said, we just gotta be safe. So you definitely wanna invest in a tape gun like this and a heat tape roll that goes inside of these. So this tape dispenser I got from Amazon and I don't recommend this one. Well, they don't even make this one anymore because it broke off like when I first got it and it's really loose all the time. So it was very frustrating. So luckily I have this one from Heat Press Nation. It's only $15, which is a great deal for something so durable and good quality. And this heat tape is also from Heat Press Nation. But like I said, as long as you're getting heat tape, you'll be good to go. And that is definitely a must when it comes to your sublimation business. Stock up on your lint rollers, folks, because you are going to need it with sublimation. So let's use an example. This white shirt here, if I was to take it and just put the sublimation print on it, heat press it down, I would remove it and I would notice that there would be blue specks all over my white shirt. They are permanent. They do not come out, and it is the lint pieces that are basically dyed into the fabric content of the shirt. But if you took this lint roller and lint rolled all of the areas that the heat would apply to, it does not have those little specks. So just make sure you have a lot of these in stock for all of your different fabrics and different things that you might apply sublimation to, because you're gonna need a lot of them. I get a big bulk pack at Sam's Club, but you can also get them on Amazon or at Walmart or just wherever you want to go locally and you can get them. But definitely make sure to take note to keep these in stock. So next up is heat gloves. So I highly recommend getting you a pair of these. I got them on Amazon and they've been pretty great. I use them a lot when I'm taking my tumblers out of my tumbler press, when you're getting something like a hard substrate like one of these out of your heat press and you can't touch it, because those items get hot because you're mainly sublimating at like 400 degrees. So you don't want to touch that with your bare hands. So pick up a pair of heat gloves or use an oven mitt or something like that, but you'll definitely need some kind of way to protect your hands against all of the heat. So this is very important, I'd say. So this is not the most important thing, and I haven't even used it but maybe a couple times with my business, but this is a press pillow. So you'll need this if you're gonna be pressing something that might be a little bit flat or thin, that you need to kind of raise up a little bit to get more firm pressure. So if you're ever gonna be creating pillows, so something with kind of like a zipper around the edge, but you wanna sublimate in the middle, you'll want something behind it so it kind of bulks it up in the middle so you're able to sublimate the flat part in the center rather than your zipper or something around the edges. So that is something I recommend if you're going to be doing anything with pillows or anything, like I said, that has a little bit of an odd shape that you want to bulk up the center. But I'd say that it's handy to have just in case. If you don't have a pressing pillow, you can also use like a towel or something and fold it up. But I already had these from back in my sewing days. So I utilize that a couple times within my business. Like I said, if I was ever making pillows or anything like that. So be the judge of if you think you'll need one or not, but I definitely wanted to mention it. Okay, next up is practice fabric. So this is something I highly recommend because when you first start sublimation, you're definitely going to want to practice and get your settings nailed in. So this, I couldn't find the big roll that I have, but as you can see, this was my very first press for sublimation. And what I did is I went to Hobby Lobby and I got a roll of polyester fabric. So if you didn't know, sublimation requires polyester or high polyester fabric content because that is what the ink needs. All you need to do is go to the store, get 100% polyester fabric, fabric. This is just like a t-shirt type material. So I got a big roll and I was able to practice and get different settings nailed in. And then this is like a linen. So it is 100% polyester linen. You can make hat patches with, or do a lot of different things like that. So you can also practice with that. But definitely go ahead to your fabric store or your Walmart and get a roll of polyester fabric. Make sure it's 100% or at least a high polyester fabric content so you can practice. Okay, so the next thing that you will need is blanks. So first and foremost, shirts. That's a very big thing that a lot of people that do sublimation love to do because you can make so many cool different types of shirts and different things like that. So what you'll need is some shirts. So you will need 100% polyester or a high polyester count fabric shirt. So this is the kind of white shirts I use. I use the Gildan Performance and I use the Jerseys 21M. So those are great white shirts to sublimate on. Along with that, if you're wanting some color, the Gildan Soft Styles, I know they're kind of hard to find still. They are 65% polyester, 35% cotton, and these are great for bleached shirts. If you also can sublimate directly on them, but the colors are a little bit more dull unless you bleach them, and we'll get into that in just a second. So this is another popular shirt that a lot of people like to use for sublimation because they're soft. They feel a little bit like cotton, so people really like them if they don't like the polyester feel shirts. So this is a great option for the colored shirts. Okay, so some other cool blanks that you can get and make. I don't know if you knew this, but you can sublimate on Michael's tote bags. They're 100% polyester, and they make some really cool products. You can make Halloween bags, you can make gift bags, so many cool things, and I think they're only like $1.99 or something like that. So a very good option that you can make as well. All these blanks here. So I get all of my blanks from either Johnson Plastics Plus, Heat Press Nation, or My Craft Source. Those are the three, my go-to places. That's where I get all of my sublimation blanks from, and I'll tell you why. You definitely don't want to go and spend your money on Amazon and get some knockoff tumbler that says it's sublimation and it won't last or something goes wrong with it. You want to invest in high quality blanks. So that is what I've always done, and I stand by that because you get better results doing that. The cool thing about all of these places is you can get so many different tumblers and mugs and different blanks like ornaments and koozies, and these are cool because they're dry erase boards. So I was going to make my daughter like a little name so she could practice writing her name for school. So just different things like that. Like anything you can think of, you can probably find it. So here's an example of a tumbler I made. This one's from Johnson Plastics Plus, and it gives you really good quality results, and also the ice in there lasts forever. So it's really good perk when it comes to these insulated tumblers. This one is a UV tumbler, so it turns like, it's kind of like glow in the dark. This one's from My Craft Source. This one is from Heat Press Nation, and it is a glitter tumbler, which is really cool. I'm excited to do that one. And you can also sublimate on stainless steel, which is so cool. So there's so many different options just depending on what you like and what your style is. And like I said, there's an unlimited amount of blanks that you could think of. I just grabbed a handful and brought them in here just to show you guys, to do your research depending on what you like. So if you guys want to save a little bit of money, those three companies that I mentioned, I actually have some coupon codes down below. I have a 15% off and a 5% off and just some great deals. So definitely check those out. And also, like I said, quality is key when it comes to your business. So definitely investing and looking into companies that sell good quality products is really important when it comes to giving your customers good results. So hopefully that helps you guys out and realize that you can make a ton of different products when it comes to sublimation. One other thing I wanted to mention is do not go and just get a tumbler or mug from the Dollar Tree or Walmart and think that you can sublimate on it. You have to get something with a special sublimation coating on it. It has a coating on it that works with sublimation, and not everything does. So if you just go get one of your cups from your kitchen, it's not going to work. I just wanted to mention that because some people have asked that question. I just wanted you to know you definitely have to have special sublimation products in order to create those results. All right, so we were talking about these shirts and how you need something to make the colors pop. So if you're ever going to want to get into bleaching shirts, you're going to need bleach. And I use 100% bleach. I get it at Sam's Club. It's just the regular Performance. And then also some peroxide. So what this does is it basically, you splash bleach on it, let it dry. I have a whole video talking about how to bleach a shirt, so I'll link it in the cards. But it is important to get these if you think that you'll ever want to bleach a shirt. So definitely, if you're going to do that, invest in some bleach. You can go get that at your local Walmart, Sam's Club, Dollar Tree, and just pick those things up just to have on hand. And you might try it out one day and you might love it. So it's a great option to have for gifts, or if you want to sell them. They're very hot and popular still. So that is definitely an option as well. Okay, so next up is a heat press. So I know I'm going to be linking a lot of videos in today's video, but that's just because I've done a lot of videos relating to sublimation and heat presses and different things like that, because it's what I do. So I'll link that one up in the cards, talking about the different types of heat presses, just to give you an idea of the types that you can get depending on what products you make and sell. So when it comes to sublimation, you have your print that you printed out, you have your product, which is your substrate, and you're wanting to apply that print to your substrate. You're going to need heat. So using a household iron is not going to work. You're not going to have enough pressure in order for it to work. So you're going to need something with firm pressure like a heat press to be able to sublimate onto your shirt. Sublimation's a gas. It needs the heat to be able to dye into the fibers or the material of your product. So you definitely need to look into getting something like this. And like I said, look at that video and get an idea of the different types of heat presses. I have a 16 by 20 from Heat Press Nation. I love it very much. I also have this Starcraft Swing Away. I love this one very much too. Right here I have a mug press, which I use all the time. I make mugs, I make tumblers. So this is a very helpful thing to have if you're wanting to create anything with mugs or tumblers. Now, if you're not wanting to invest in something like this, you can still get an oven and you can make tumblers and mugs that way. It's a little bit more time and effort and whatnot, but you can still do it for cheaper. So just know that if you want to get into tumblers and mugs and different things like that, you can get a convection oven. Those are very popular. A lot of people make mugs and stuff that way, but I like this because it saves me time. I'm all about time. It's things that can save me time, and so this does that for me. So I love this. So I have a tumbler and mug press that works great for sublimation. And also I have, this is my Old Faithful from Amazon. It is the Fancier Studio Power Heat Press. This is just like a backup press. I don't really use it anymore. I just have it in case something ever happens, which I doubt it will happen to the other two at the same time. But it is kind of a backup press, which I'm probably going to be giving away soon. But yes, just know that you have options depending on your budget. And you can go from all the way from the cheapest being probably something like this from Amazon. It was like $100, I think, when I got it. Up to the most expensive, which is around $1,000. It just depends on, yet again, how much money you're wanting to invest or in what kind of products you're wanting to make. So, hope that helps. So something else I wanted to mention, but I actually couldn't find it. It got lost somewhere, but I'm sure it's around here somewhere, is one of those fabric rulers. So if you're making anything with cups, mugs, tumblers, or anything with a round surface that you need to measure, it's great to have one of those because then you can accurately get a measure of your surface so you know what to make that print size in your software. So I definitely recommend getting one of those, and I'll pop a picture up on the screen of what I'm talking about if you don't know what I mean, but definitely invest in some way to measure your surfaces. So we talked about a lot of different products and different things that you'll need to create your business in this video. Hopefully it was not too overwhelming to you guys, but I know that when I was researching back when sublimation was really starting to get hot, there was not a list that said everything. So I was like, I'm gonna make a video for all of you guys just to kind of let you in on what I use all the time in my business and what really has helped me and make me grow and thrive. And I will tell you guys that when it comes to sublimation, you can make a killing. You might be spending at least around $1,000, depending on what printer you get and what materials you get. I think I started just when I first was doing t-shirts, I spent about $1,000 to start everything. Once I invested in some different blanks and everything, probably about $1,500. So you can expect to spend at least that, but with the cost of things going up, it might be a little bit more than that. But I will tell you, even my first month selling the products with sublimation, I made all of my money back and plenty more. So just know you can make a killing doing this. And if you're not wanting to do this for profit, you can still make it a great hobby, and you can make your friends and family some really awesome and cool gifts and products. So I hope that you guys got something out of this video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here, and I have a ton of videos coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.